This is KiwaniTalk. My name's Ray Scaboria. I'll be your host for this evening's program. KiwaniTalk is a public information program usually brought to you from the studios of WDHS at Dearborn High School, but today we're meeting, because it's the summer, we're doing our show at the office of Gary Gardner, and also another host on KiwaniTalk. Today we're very pleased to have as our guest Captain Melinda Tripp from the Dearborn Heights Salvation Army Citadel.
Hi.
Captain Tripp, it's nice to have you with us today.
It's nice to be here. Thank you for having me.
And what we like to do is get a little bit of your background and what brought you, to the Salvation Army, and then maybe some of your positions that you had prior to coming to Dearborn Heights.
Okay. Well, what brought me to the Salvation Army is actually my family has been in the Salvation Army for quite a few generations before me. My great-great-great-grandparents came to the United States with the Salvation Army from England, because the Salvation Army started in England.
Yeah.
So my great-great-great-grandparents came here, and to start the Salvation Army in Battle Creek with the Salvation Army. So that's my history, and that's how I started coming to the Salvation Army.
You must have a family tree. You must know all your ancestors going back to the first ones that came over here.
Yeah, I have on that side of my family for this. Yeah, the people in the Salvation Army. I do. Yes, and then I met my husband through the Salvation Army summer camp program in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Well, Comstock Park, which is by Grand Rapids. And he came to the Salvation Army through the Salvation Army's youth programs, through the day camp, and he was someone who benefited through the youth programs, and he had youth leaders that really poured into his life, and he came through that area of the Salvation Army.
And now, since you've been, obviously when you go become a Salvation Army officer, you go through a training school, mm-hmm. and then you have assignments after that. Yeah. You get assigned to different locations. Can you give us a little background of some of the places you've been?
Yes. So after we went to the Salvation Army's seminary in Chicago, we went to Wausau, Wisconsin, and when we arrived there, we had 2 children. And while we were there, we added 2 more, and so now we have 4 children. And we were there, and we were in Wausau, Wisconsin, and then we were in Madison, Wisconsin, and then Beloit, Wisconsin, and then we came back over to Michigan, and we were in Adrian, Michigan, and now we are in Dearborn Heights.
Okay.
Yes.
So you definitely get moved around.
Yes.
When they say the Army, it's like the Army. You get different locations, different stations.
Yes.
Well, one of the reasons we're having this program today mm-hmm. is that the Salvation Army is and I'm a member of the community board here at Dearborn Heights, mm-hmm. and one of the issues that presents many groups, charitable groups, of which the Salvation Army is a big one, mm-hmm. Is raising funds for the services that we provide.
Yes.
Okay, and so the Salvation Army was looking for another way of maybe stimulating fundraising a little bit, mm-hmm. and the idea came up that why don't we have a trivia night mm-hmm. and it would be at the Citadel in Dearborn Heights, mm-hmm. in the gym, which is a big room.
Yes.
And I think we've agreed that we could hold something like 10 tables or so. I'm not sure the exact number.
Yeah, I think the capacity, we decided we would cap at 100 people.
Okay.
So 100 people, and we would do teams of up to 6, so tables of 6 people.
So that'd be 16 tables one day. 16 times 6 is 96, I think, isn't it?
So yeah. And so that would be October 12th, right? Yeah. October 12th.
And at this point, I think I'm going to hold this up. This is a terrific little poster that's been been prepared. You've participated in it. You get all the details on there. And it has some of the high-tech characteristics of modern posters. And we're going to have you show how we can, what do we call that little spot that your smartphone reads?
Oh, the QR code.
Oh, the QR code. We're going to have you demonstrate the QR code with your phone. You
Okay.
don't mind doing that?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay. So I'm gonna hand this over to you.
Okay.
And
So on your smartphone, you just need to you should be able to just open your camera app and then use it to scan the QR code right here. And it'll scan it and read it, and it should just pop the website right up there. And then that'll open you right up to the registration page to register for yourself, for just yourself, or for a whole team if you'd like to register a whole team.
so I guess you have to have a credit card or something because you have to pay, if you're going to register your table.
Yes,
You know?
that'll take you to the link to pay for yourself or your team as well.
Okay. So this is a little something different, and this came from several people that are on the community board. It wasn't my idea, but a couple of the people on the board have been involved in these locally, other ones. And apparently it's considered a lot of fun. It's a night out, and it's not a late night. It's maybe a 9:30 closing time. I mean, let's see.
Yeah, the hours are 6 to 8. So it starts at 6. The doors will open at 5:30. We'll be done by 8. There will be a silent auction, and the silent auction will close at 7:30. Yeah.
And it is a competition between tables. Is that right? Or
Yes.
not between individuals.
Yeah, between tables.
Okay. So if you're an individual,
I believe between tables. Now I'm not sure.
oh,
Uh-oh.
well.
I guess we better find out, right?
We've got a couple of weeks yet.
We better find out.
Well, I think that a number of the tables will be groups. Okay.
Yeah.
And I think with groups, they would sort of feel like they were on a team.
Yeah.
That was a team competition.
Yeah.
But I did see some discussion about prizes.
Yes.
Okay, and the first, second, and third. So I don't know if that's first, second, and third table, or
Yeah.
first, second, and third person.
Yeah, I guess we better clarify that.
Yeah. Oh well, we can do that.
Yes, the trivia company Sporkle is doing the game, and Sporkle is a big company that does that, and they have a following of their own because there are people that are really into trivia, and they follow them around. And I know I have family that love trivia, and they just go to trivia nights all over the place.
Well, my wife and I watch Jeopardy every night.
Yeah.
Jeopardy's not quite trivia, but it's related to trivia.
Yeah.
It's a little more formalized, I'd say. Now, have you been to any trivia events in the past?
Not to like a formal trivia. I've been to a trivia thing with my family that go, but not like I haven't gone to a trivia night.
I went down. My wife works at the. She's a volunteer. It's called they're Friends of the Dearborn Library.
Okay.
Friends of the Library is their group. Okay, and she goes down there and she has brought home in the bookcase downstairs. There's that many trivia books. And I thought, and every once in a while, I think I'm going to give a book away to somebody, and I go down and grab one. So I was coming up with these books. She said, "Put them back." So I think she wants to go through them at her own speed when she's ready, So, but she does. She never misses Jeopardy. Never. And of course, I watch Jeopardy too. You know, okay, well, so anyway, there will, of course, be food at the event.
Yes.
And silent auction.
Mm-hmm.
And silent auction works like you make a bid on a piece of paper and put it in a thing or something like that. Yeah. And then whoever bids the highest gets the item. Okay. And of course, that's a fundraising effort, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know, are you familiar with the silent auction items at all, or the gist of the items that would be in the silent auction?
Colleen is working on the silent auction
Okay.
items, so I'm not sure what all items will be there.
Okay.
I know there's going to be a limited number of items.
Yeah.
We're not going to have a lot of little items. There'll be very specific items in there.
Yeah. And I saw the information about the food that would be available, and there's a number of people at the Salvation Army that prepare food for different events.
Yeah.
So and they're involved in this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know on the planning notes, because I wasn't able to be at the last planning meeting because I was out at camp. It was my week at camp.
Okay. Is that where Val is? Major? She's a major, isn't she?
Yeah, she's a major. They're on vacation this week.
Oh, vacation. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I saw in the notes that food will be like refreshments and hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure.
It's kind of a light. It's not like a heavy meal. It's a light thing.
Yeah.
You know? But you know, it's enough to kind of keep you from starving.
Yes.
I mean, keep the brain sharp, you know.
Yeah. Not enough to get in the way of your answering the questions on
That's
time.
right. That's right.
You gotta get to those buttons.
I guess trivia night is. I mean, it's not only answering the question; it's answering it faster than anybody else. I guess.
Yeah.
That's the whole
You
name
gotta
of the
be
game.
first.
You
Yeah.
know.
It's competitive.
Okay.
I know we have some people that are gearing up their team, and we have some very competitive people.
So there's going to be a Salvation Army table or two, huh?
I'm sure.
You think so?
And probably a couple, and they will compete with each other.
Okay. Well, I'm thinking of taking a couple of these and bringing them to my Kiwanis meeting.
Yeah.
And see if we can't get a Kiwanis table together.
Oh,
but
yeah.
But I'm not going to. I'm not a fast answerer. You know, I'm not a top-notch competitor. So, but I'll see if I can encourage them to have a table.
Yeah.
And we, as a club, we've always supported the Salvation Army here, and it's been one of our major charities. You know, for years and years and years. You know?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to take a little break now, and we'll be back with Captain Melinda Tripp from the Salvation Army in Dearborn Heights right after the break. See you then.
It's easy to get caught up in the details. The day-to-day grind, numb to the noise, going round and round and round. Deep down, there's something missing. A void inside, a hole to fill, a life lacking. Then, in a minute of clarity, it hits you. The aha moment. You're needed. Kids need you. Kids of all kinds. All these funny, rambunctious, sweet, attention-seeking, vulnerable bundles of energy. They need your love and support. Some have huge life hurdles. Poverty, disease, hunger. And they're reaching out for you. Around the corner, around the world. You are a Kiwanian at heart, a role model, a guide, a builder of dreams. Together, we are Kiwanis, passionate and strong, ready to move mountains or grains of sand. Imagine every child, reaching their potential. The power to help is in you. It's not about us. It's about them. Do you hear the call? Kids need Kiwanis. Kiwanis needs you.
Hi, I'm Commissioner Ken Hodder, National Commander of the Salvation Army. Christmas is a time for us to come together, to help others in need. That's really what the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign has been about for more than 130 years. Ever since that first kettle was set out on the wharves of San Francisco by Captain Joseph McPhee, the Red Kettle has become a way for communities to join together and love their neighbors in need, beyond circumstances, beyond economic challenges, beyond political differences, and even beyond the pressures of the holiday season itself. It's been shown that, on average, a volunteer at a Salvation Army Red Kettle can bring in enough money in one day to feed 185 people, or provide Christmas gifts to an entire family, or even pay someone's overdue utility bill, which will keep a family in their home. So your commitment to ring the bell at a Salvation Army Red Kettle will help to raise vital funds, funds that provide emergency shelter, food, childcare, rental assistance, addiction recovery services, Christmas presents for the tree, and a whole lot more. So reach out to your local Salvation Army, call them, or go online, and sign up to ring a Red Kettle bell this season. Do it as a family, as a church group, with your friends from work, or even just do it by yourself. I promise that the joys of participating in this work will be immeasurable. Thank you for joining Love's Army and for loving your own neighbors in need beyond whatever struggles they may face. Merry Christmas, and God bless you.
Hello, I'm Ray Scaboria, and we're here with Captain Melinda Tripp from the Salvation Army in Dearborn Heights, and we're talking about the trivia night that's going to be held, and it's October 12th. And we wanted to mention something that, and you can mention it, that any proceeds that the Salvation Army receives from this will be used to support local needs.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Dearborn Heights Salvation Army supports needs in Dearborn, Dearborn Heights, Garden City, Livonia, and Redford.
Yeah, yeah. And our Kiwanis Club, I mentioned this to you, but I hadn't mentioned it on the show. But we've supported this branch of the Salvation Army, or this citadel, for probably 60, 70 years. Mm-hmm. We always try and make a nice contribution around Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And we do ring the bell also. Yes. And
you put in a lot of hours ringing.
Yeah, I put in a lot of hours. Actually, people who watch this, they know, they've seen me there. You know, but they seem to put up with me.
Yes.
Well, what we also wanted to talk a little bit about the major fundraiser for the Salvation Army, which is the bell ringing that occurs at Christmas, obviously.
Yeah.
Over the Christmas season, and the Salvation Army is always looking for bell ringers.
Yes.
So I believe that well, give a little breakdown on when you can call up.
Yeah.
And maybe schedule some nights or some days to ring the bell. Yeah. And the locations and so on.
Yeah. I know most people are probably thinking that it's August, but we pretty much think about Christmas most of the year, because it is a full year thing for us, because we plan all year. But Yeah, people can call and start scheduling or go online and start scheduling beginning October 1st. So you can call or go to registertoring.com beginning October 1st. So.
Okay. What I do, I have a particular location I want.
Yeah.
So I get in there first thing and get my days set up.
Yes.
And and the thing is, you have to get on your calendar because there's always, everybody has conflicts, so you have to make sure the time you're ringing isn't some time that you have something else you have to do.
Yeah.
Because then you have to call up, and the young lady that handles that is Christine at the Salvation Army, and it's a little frustrating to get calls at the last minute, somebody changing or saying I can't make it, So you really need to think about what days you're going to be available and what hours, And I think I've been pretty consistent. I don't think I've had to make too many changes.
Yeah, and some of the shifts won't be in there quite yet on October 1st because some of our locations don't have don't sign agreements with us quite ready on October 1st, so we will add them in as they become available. Yeah. Like especially for places like Walmart, and some of them we can't start until closer to Christmas or after Thanksgiving. So those things, they won't all start at the same time either.
It's I like to start after Thanksgiving. I'll start the first day after Thanksgiving, but I kind of like to start after Thanksgiving, and but then I go all the way through to pretty close to Christmas, and it's like 12 days or 14 days or something like that. Yeah, so now just to give an idea, I think there's in the area of 20 or over 20 locations that normally that where Dearborn Heights has. Yep. And if you think about that, that's a job for the Salvation Army person that has to go out to each of those stations and put the new bucket on, take the bucket with the collections in it, and get them back. And I've been impressed at how accurately they can arrive at the end of your session because they have other places to go, you know.
Takes a lot of logistics, planning ahead of time.
You must have 2 or 3 people go out at least.
Yes, you have to have multiple drivers.
Yeah, I would think so, And they probably switch off just to avoid the monotony.
Yeah. Yes, so whenever we can, we have other people help.
Yeah. And of course, when the Salvation Army person comes to pick up the bucket, I like to get everything out of the way so they can get the bucket and go, because they know they have someplace else they have to go after me. Now, I imagine you've done bell ringing yourself on occasion in the past.
Well, yes.
Yeah. But you're raising some good bell ringers at home. A few years down the road, maybe. Yeah.
Well, I like to take them out at least a couple times every season.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Do
and
you?
People like the kids.
Oh, of course they do.
They love to see the kids out there.
Of course they love to see kids.
And now my 10-year-old, he likes to go collect the carts that people leave in the middle of the parking lot.
No, say that again. I'm sorry.
I said my 10-year-old likes to watch for the carts left in the parking lot and go collect those instead.
Oh, okay.
He watches and goes and collects them while we're ringing.
Well, they would love him over at Kroger. Yeah. I'll tell you, they'd love him.
That's where we were last year.
Honestly,
he was doing that.
Where I sit at Kroger, you can see them collecting the carts and bringing them in. And there's at times in the evening when there's not a single cart in the cart area.
They just can't keep up with it.
They're completely out in the middle. And then they send about 4 people out, and they work for an hour. And by the time they're done, they have all the carts back in.
Yep.
Except the one that somebody took across Michigan Avenue. And,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back and talk a little bit about the trivia night again. And let's just kind of go by the numbers through the major items, and then if you don't mind,
Okay.
Melinda.
Yeah.
Yeah, just review the through the items as we.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's October 12th. It's $15 a person or $75 per table of 6. Doors open at 5:30 and it begins at 6. It's 6 to 8. There will be a silent auction, and the silent auction will end at 7:30. The trivia company is Sporkle, so if you are familiar with them or a follower of them, be sure to join them and follow them for more information. I'm sure they'll share some on their following. There will be prizes for first, second, and third place. The funds raised will be to support, again, Dearborn, Dearborn Heights, Garden City, Livonia, and Redford area. That's our service area. And you can find a link to register on our Facebook page, as well as if you're watching this, I believe they're going to share a link with that, and from when Ray held it up for you.
Okay.
And you can scan the QR code.
Well, I've enjoyed this evening because I've been at meetings with you, but you've been on the other side of the room.
Yeah.
And I really haven't gotten to know you, but now I feel like I've gotten to know you a little better, Melinda. And so I hope people would be interested in maybe putting a table together and coming out on October 12th to the Dearborn Heights Salvation Army Citadel and enjoying a fun evening. Competitive evening of trivia.
Yes.
Trivia night. Okay. And thank you for joining us. I hope you'll join us again soon.